Shalom. First, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah-HaKadosh. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone from whom I learned this truth. And shalom to the 144,000 elect. And I am Mayakala. And I just wanted to do a quick video about, and you can see the face here who this is about. I'm going to call him Gil Bates, just so I don't say his name. I don't want to bring his name out. But this man has gone from wanting to do all kinds of things to people now, but now he wants to make some money. And instead of going that route that he was going with the climate change, now he wants to go to a route of, since he's probably invested some money in some various companies, he wants to give shots to all the cows, because he wants to make sure that he puts I'm going to say vaccination into these cows in order to in an effort to stop them from farting. All right, but I'm gonna listen maybe to a couple minutes of this, and maybe I have a second video that I want to bring out, and then just a couple verses that I have that I wanted to bring out, and that'll be the end of this lesson. But first, I want to say that I'm using this video under fair use. It's for edification purposes only, and I'm just gonna play maybe a couple minutes of this, and like I said, I might have a second video that I want to bring out.
Okay, well, Bill Gates wants to give cows vaccines to produce less methane, and he's framing this as his new moderate take on climate change. So remember when Bill Gates warned that climate change would be humanity's greatest threat, the hardest challenge we'll ever face as human beings, he said. Well, he doesn't believe that anymore, he says, after scaring the crap out of people and the media letting him do it unchecked. Now he's here.
See, he found another route in order to make himself some money. Instead of the climate change hoax been revealed, and so he's going another route now. He wants to use give shots to cows. So he wants to, one way or another, he wants to be able to defile the meat. And if he can't make the meat in the lab and people are not buying it, I mean, he's already done that, but people are not buying it. So he wants to go about another way of defiling the cows, and he wants to make sure he gets that vaccination into the meat somehow. So now he's going to try to get a law passed where he can go around to all the farmers and put this vaccination into these cows. But I'm going to let it continue to play.
To say this on his personal blog. This is the title. He calls it 3 Truths. The truths he's about to drop on us are things that serious climate researchers have been saying for years, and he has spent money to bury in the media. But okay, he's come around. It's not catastrophe anymore. You don't have to have climate anxiety. You'll see why he's doing this in a minute, but I'm going to spoil it for you. He wants to sell livestock vaccines and additives to their food in order to get you to eat meat again, because he can make money off of it. Here's truth number 1. He says climate change is a serious problem, but will not be the end of civilization. You guys, calm down. That's not what he was saying just 4 years ago. Remember this 60 Minutes piece? I can't play it for you because 60 Minutes always gives us a copyright strike. But what he told Anderson Cooper was that this will be the toughest challenge humanity has ever faced. Absolutely. He said, he told Anderson Cooper he wanted to change everything in the physical world. So they sat in a hamburger shop and
all right, so you can see he wants to just defile as much as he can, because it's lucrative for him, because he's invested in these various companies. So he's going to go out and try to make money by giving the vaccinations to the cows now. Since it's been revealed what he's done to the people, he wants to go another route. He'll go directly to the food source. All right. And not only the food source with these cows, but there's other things that he's probably involved in that's furthering or defiling the foods that we eat. But I have a couple verses that I wanted to bring out first, and then I'm going to let a couple more minutes of this play. And I'm going to go over to Jeremiah chapter 16. And I'm going to start at verse 17. It says, "For mine eyes are upon all their ways. They are not hid from my face, neither is their iniquity hid from mine eyes." It says, "And first I will recompense their iniquity and their sin double, because they have defiled my land. They have filled mine inheritance with the carcasses of their detestable and abominable things." And the Lord's inheritance, we are the inheritance of the Lord, the Israelites, and that's what they have done. They have gone about defiling, like the verse says, the carcasses. I mean, they've defiled the land. They've defiled the farmers' land, so the farmers can't even go out and make a decent wage. So instead of now further attacking the land, they're attacking the livestock. All right, I'm gonna let a couple more minutes of this play.
He was like, yeah, I'm going to change the way your food is served, the way the furniture is, the way we water plants, the way we use tractors. Like, literally, I want to change everything. See him here laughing, like, yeah, I want everything. I want to take everything you know and love and change everything for climate change. That's literally what he said. Now he thinks, well, that's, not really necessary. He said we needed to do that if we're going to get to zero. And again, I have this screenshot for you proving that he said it. Yeah. I'm going to change your whole world. Unelected, but he gave himself the power to do it. What do you want to say?
A long story in our chat room says Gates is no longer relevant. He needs to go away. Long story, I agree with you. He needs to go away, but he's more relevant than ever. He was just at the freaking White House.
Yeah.
Like, he literally had a secret meeting with President Trump, and then he came back like 2 weeks later for another meeting at the White House. Like, he's not irrelevant at all.
Well, look what he watch the end of this segment and see what he has planned for your meat, and then tell me if he's irrelevant. So now what I just showed you is him on 60 Minutes saying we need to get to zero, net zero, no emissions, full stop. Okay. Now he says that's not really the best idea. Now he thinks that human health and prosperity are better goals for climate change. He wrote this as truth number 3. Way to catch up, Bill Gates. This is what people have been saying for decades if you hadn't been burying their research. For instance, this was a major part of Bjorn Lomborg's great book, False Alarm. He wrote that back in 2000. He was not even the first to say it. What he specifically was saying is that serious climate researchers know that prosperity is the best climate policy, because when countries get richer, they use better farming techniques, fewer single-use items, families use better ventilated cooking methods. When farming is produced at scale, it is far less wasteful. Now let's talk specifically about meat, because climate activists like to say that meat is responsible for 14.5% of global greenhouse gas emissions, which is total crap, pun intended, because that is a global average, meaning it takes into account well-run agriculture like we have in the United States and in the UK, and it lumps it together with third world countries who have far more wasteful systems because they have not progressed to better systems yet. In the US, beef production is only responsible for 2.2% of emissions, according to the EPA. Why? Because in the US, we get more efficient every year. In fact, beef emissions have been cut by 30% since the 70s because of innovation or prosperity. So Bill Gates, you're right. This has been available to know for decades. You just didn't bother to. Did you know that 85% of Americans...
Okay, I'm going to stop that there, but it's just amazing that this man thinks that he's not an elected official, but because he is rich and is able to afford and make investments in these various companies that make up these machinations, he thinks that he's got the right. And just like she said, or like her husband said, that Gil Bates has been at the White House, and you know what he's doing at the White House. He's lobbying. He's probably making all type of donations and Trump is going right along with this and is allowing these things to happen. All right, I just have another verse I wanted to bring out, and I'm still in the book of Jeremiah, chapter 2 and verse 7. It says, "And I brought you into a plentiful country to eat the fruit thereof and the goodness thereof. But when ye entered, ye defiled my land." And that's what they done when from the time that they got here, they found ways to defile the land. They didn't even know how to live off this land. All right. And the Gadites had to show them how to live off this land, how to get food from this land. And they have just come and just slaughtered animals. They take more than they're just going to eat. They slaughter more animals than they really need to. All right. And so as a result of what they've done, cows have been farting for since the beginning of time, but now all of a sudden it's a problem, and this man think he needs to alter it by giving them vaccinations, giving them some type of shot that he's invested in. But just to finish the verse, and again, actually I'm going to start over again. I'm at verse 7. It says, "And I brought you into a plentiful country to eat the fruit thereof and the goodness thereof. But when you entered, you defiled my land and made my heritage an abomination." All right. And I have just another video that I wanted to look at, and it's a quick one. It's only about 58 seconds.
Who out there knows Bill Gates? Let me bring him out to this field and tell me that these beautiful four...
And again, I'm using this under fair use. Fair use. All right. Just for edification purposes. But this is very short, so I'll let it continue.
Wheel drive, four-legged, sauerkraut vat pruners are destroying the planet. Folks, did you know that Bill Gates has just raised $24 million of venture capital to try to invent a vaccine to eliminate cow burps and farts? Folks, it ain't cow burps and farts that are destroying the planet. It's people like Bill Gates that are destroying the planet. So what we've got to do is return these beautiful creatures to their God-given instinctual, service to humanity. Realize 500 years ago, North America had way more animals than it does today. The world 1,000 years ago had way more animals, pounds of animal weight, than it does today, even with hybrid seed, chemical fertilizer, John Deere plows, and everything else.
I caught my stepson spying on me in the shower at the same time that my husband used this trick to get hard. I discovered...
Salakia. All right, I'm going to stop that right there. And like I said, I just have a couple more verses that I wanted to bring out, but you can see this man is a farmer himself, and he's on to what Gil Bates is doing. He just wants this. He just wants to make money, and this is a way for him to further push his agenda. He's raised money, and as a matter of fact, he's probably, like I said, invested in these vaccinations with the big companies, and he's found a way to defile the animals, the farm animals. All right. I'm going to go over to the book of Isaiah. And I'm going to chapter 24, verse 5. It says, "The earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinances, broken the everlasting covenant." So that's what he's done. This man has lobbied and visited the White House and made donations to President Trump's his presidency, and he's being allowed to go, and because he's a rich man, he's being allowed to go and put vaccinations into these animals. All right, and a lot of people aren't even aware of what's going on, because they've made one thing that they're doing. They're trying to make sure that they're first of all getting real beef and real meat, because we know that a lot of places already have these fake meats on their shelves. So people want to make sure that they're getting real meat, but they don't realize that this meat is tainted. This meat is being they're putting it into the cows before the cows even get slaughtered. All right, and therefore it's going into the cow and it's going into you when you ingest it. All right, and I just have one final verse that I wanted to bring out, because indeed we are eating things that we shouldn't be eating, abominable foods, because of what's been done to them and what's been done to the land also. All right, and the last verse that I wanted to bring out is in the book of Ezekiel. And I'm going to chapter 4 and verse 13, and it says, "And the Lord Yahweh said, even thus shall the children of Israel eat their foul bread among the Gentiles, whither I will drive them." All right, and that's indeed what's going on, because you've got, like I said, you've got all kind of things taking place in addition to what he's trying to do with these cows. I mean, you can see that our skies are being polluted, the air is being polluted, the earth, the ground itself is being polluted. There's all type of things that they're doing. The water has been polluted. All right, they add things to the water, so even the water that you drink is being polluted. And even when you have the spring water and different waters being purified waters being put into these plastic containers, these microplastics from these plastic containers are getting into your system. So, and these microplastics, they say that I've heard it said on a news source that we have enough microplastics during the course of a week that it's about the size, we consume about the size of a credit card. All right, so that's a lot of microplastics that's entering into your system. And if you're not finding ways to try to get to fight it, like eating fermented foods in order to try to fight it, you're ingesting these things into your body, and it's harming your body. It's harming you slowly, and you're wondering why when you exercise or when you try to eat the right things, you don't even feel really any better, because everything is defiled. All right, there's really not much you can do. I mean, you can pray over your food, and that's a must for you to pray over the food, because like I said, all this stuff, all these things that we ingest, all these things are defiled. The very air you breathe is defiled. All right, but that was the last verse that I wanted to bring out, and I pray that this has been edifying to the listener. And I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rahakadosh, Shalom.